At 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, my phone lit the conference table like a flare. I was midway through a zoning presentation for the city when I glanced down and saw the text from my brother. Sold your worthless building for $200K. Family needs it more than you. No question mark, no emoji, just a verdict. I set the screen face down and finished the meeting. When the Planning Commission shook my hand at 4:15, I picked the phone up again and stared until the words stopped swimming. Worthless, he'd said. The downtown building he meant, the Morrison on Lake Street, was last assessed at $8.5 million. 3 profitable storefronts at street level, 6 floors of offices above, 2 floors of luxury apartments on top. Rent rolled in at roughly $142,000 every month. But Adrian never asked about numbers. To them, I was still Naomi, the daughter who helped out as a property manager and missed the respectable stations. Law school like Adrian. Marriage with a country club membership like our sister Leah. They saw my modest 2-bedroom as proof I'd settled. They didn't know it was the top-floor penthouse I owned outright, or that I'd quietly collected 17 deeds while they practiced recognition as a competitive sport. There's no commencement ceremony for solvency, no cake for buying your own freedom. In the parking garage, I called my attorney. Rosa, I said, my brother just sold a building he doesn't own, the Morrison on Lake Street. Paper rustled. 8.5? She asked. For $200,000. I heard the anger load into her breath. We'll do it by the book, I said. Contact the buyer, freeze funds, file criminal and civil, loop in the DA. I hung up, drove to my parents' house in Brookhaven for the weekly family dinner, and pressed the doorbell. I found Adrian at the head of the table pouring Dad's best Macallan. Leah and her husband sat across from him. Mom swept in wearing an apron that crowned her queen of the kitchen. There she is, Adrian said, grinning too wide. I found a buyer, negotiated up to $200. He raised his glass like a toast to his own benevolence. I took my seat. How exactly did you transfer title? He blinked. Details, Naomi. I'm a lawyer. So you forged my signature? The room stilled. Leah frowned. I thought you just managed that building. I bought the Morrison in April 2019, I said. Cash. It's worth $8.5 million and nets $142,000 a month. Would you like to see the deed? Silence, except for the click of Mom's wedding ring against her glass. Adrian forced a weak laugh. You're being dramatic. I had power of attorney. No, you didn't. My phone buzzed. I stepped into the kitchen. Rosa. Your brother used a title mill. Quick, close solutions. Presented a forged POA and a doctored deed. Buyer is Johnson Properties. Legit and furious. Bank is freezing his firm account now. Balance before deposit was $47,000. DA is looped. Understood, I said, and walked back in. That was my attorney, I announced, sitting. The documents were forged. The buyer's counsel is filing. The bank just froze the funds. Adrian's phone lit up. He answered, color draining. Yes, this is Adrian Hale. He listened, swallowed hard. Damages? He lowered the phone. They're suing. Leah's screen flashed next. Oh my God, you're trending, she whispered. Local attorney sells $8.5 million building without owner's consent. Dad puffed up. We'll handle this privately. The doorbell rang. 2 Atlanta PD officers stepped into the dining room. Adrian Hale? He stood. Yes. You're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and grand theft, They cuffed him. He looked at me. I'm your brother. I know, I said. That's what makes it worse. The door closed behind them. I breathed steady and prepared for what came next. By morning, the headlines had gone national. Rosa called at 6:52. They filed, account frozen, Johnson Properties wants rescission and damages. I made coffee. Good, we keep it clean. Adrian made bail. Dad phoned hoarse with panic, begging me to make it go away. I told him no. This isn't about money, I said. It's about permission you thought you had. He hung up. A week later, Adrian pled to avoid prison. Probation, full restitution, permanent disbarment. Johnson Properties took the paper transfer back. My deed stood. The fraudulent closing was voided. The title mill shut down. The quiet afterward felt larger than relief, like every window in the city thrown open at once. Leah met me for coffee downtown. She didn't ask for numbers. She asked if I was sleeping. Mostly, I said. She squeezed my hand. I'm sorry, she whispered, for believing small things about you. I believed her. Months turned. Adrian took an entry-level job managing buildings for someone else. One morning, he called from an unknown number. I'm teaching new trainees how to read an area like a balance sheet, he said. I learned it listening to you when we were kids. I didn't hear you then. I hear you now. I'm sorry, Naomi. After the call, I stood at my penthouse window, looking out over the grid I know by heart. People mistake quiet for absence. They don't see the scaffolds you build in silence until they're already holding up the sky.